let's have a quick chat about divorce. It's such a polarizing topic, and it doesn't seem like a lot of people have a lot of middle ground on whether or not you agree with getting divorced or not, or like jumping into it. Obviously, one of the biggest things is people get committed to the idea of loyalty and like marriage being a contract, the religious context and sacredness of the contract with God to marriage. That's one aspect of, I think, what holds people in a marriage. Also, I think that there's a lot of conditioned ideas in our society that has kind of deemed breaking up a family as a failure and harmful to the children. But it doesn't take into account how two people trying to force a relationship to work, how that can create really unhealthy perceptions of relationships for children. And I'm someone who grew up in a home that did not see a healthy relationship. And I saw a marriage that was forced to stay together for the children, but it did not do for our best interests, in my opinion. However, it also was a part of making me who I am, even though I would say there's a decent amount of my own traumas around relationships, which has made it more difficult for me to have healthy relationships. So we really need to consider our behaviors, being in tune with our authenticness, and not doing things to accommodate someone else, to gain affection, to keep them, or to keep the family together because your preconceived ideals tell you that it's better to be in a marriage for the children than it is to divorce. And not only the children's involvement, but also I think a lot of people are more scared of being alone than they are of settling in an unhealthy dynamic. And that brings me to, what are the gifts of divorce? I know I was terrified to take that first step of asking for divorce, but something during my awakening process as a mother, something in me was so strong that just kept pulling me towards divorce, towards working to figure things out on your own, towards separating from that partner, from my husband at the time. And it wasn't necessarily anything wrong with either of us. And it was hard to put to words exactly why I wanted divorce. He could probably say differently. But I think divorce in itself, or any breakup for that matter, any long-term breakup, offers you a very special opportunity. And it's an opportunity to take everything from the relationship and make it a part of your growth. It doesn't mean you have to put a positive spin on everything, because it's important to allow space to grieve, space to be sad, space to feel sadness and the emotions around the breaking up and your healing process. And it's important to have that healing process, which I think not everybody is good at having the healing process either. But the alchemy of divorce is in how it is a catalyst for your own growth, for your personal journey, for your own transformation. Because with every relationship ending, there's always an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself. And that's really what our entire life journey is a self-exploration. And a self-realization, because it sounds really sad, but it's true. You come into this world alone. Well, I don't know if I'd say alone, because you're deeply connected with your mother, or your parents, we'll say. And you leave back to source, heaven, consciousness, wherever you feel. I believe our souls go back to source energy, we'll say, source consciousness. And in that space, there is kind of a review of your life, of the lessons you've learned and how you took them and alchemized your experiences, and how much you grew and evolved as a soul, as an energetic fractal, and the wisdom you gain from it. So if you don't push yourself out of your comfort zone, if you don't take risks, if you don't jump off the ledge into uncertainty, doing the things that scare you, doing the things that honestly, some of your biggest fears in life are karmic from past lives that need to be kind of reviewed and alchemized in this life to transcend that karma. So like, if you look at your birth chart, get an in-depth birth chart, not just like your basic zodiac and moon sign, like get an in-depth birth chart, and it will tell you your nodes, your north and south nodes. This was a big part of my journey of realizing this, and this is something I found out shortly after I got divorced, and this was a big step in my healing process, because to find your north and south node, one is I believe it's the north node is your direction you're going in this life, what you're meant to learn in this life. And the south node is what your past patterns were, what you've dealt with in past lives. I believe that's what it is. If not, just go look it up, the north and south nodes. I know mine are, what is it? Aries and Virgo. I think that's, I'd have to, I know Aries for sure is my north node. No, it's Libra, Aries and Libra. Anyways, a big part of mine was learning to be alone. Learning what it is to be alone, independent, and self-connected, but not in a way that is self-defeating. Not in a way that we're resistant to partnership, pushing people away, being very kind of rigid in our heart center. A big part of my journey is this heart expansion, because a lot of, from my past lives that I learned and this life, there's been a lot of guarding of my own heart, my heart center, from past pain and relationships and my childhood, lack of emotional availability of my parents, that has kind of caused my heart to be closed, kind of a gate. So I know a big part of my North Node journey in this life is learning to open up and expand my heart space, allowing people, and not only just relationship, but also with friendships, with sisterhood, which is why kind of this women's village is a big thing for me too, because it's not only partnership with men or like relationship with another, whether it be same sex or opposite gender, that is a part of our human journey. It's also our relationship with other people, how we relate to other people, how we connect with other people intimately. And I've struggled in both having friendships, good, vulnerable, close, loving friendships, and relying on other people, not only friends, but partners, any family, but also partnership. And that is part of my journey. So I know that for me, see, everybody has their own journey. This is something I'm learning too. Everybody has their own particular journey, path, north and south nodes that they're meant to experience in this life. My experience with kind of learning through divorce is maybe the opposite of somebody else's experience. Maybe they did live a childhood through divorce. I have a close friend on here, so let's see if she watches this. And I've talked to her about this as well. I lived in a home where I always wished my parents would have gotten divorced because they were always fighting. It was hard to see a true loving and healthy connection between them. And I always wished that they had gotten divorced. And then I have a friend who was the opposite. Her parents did get divorced. And she grew up dealing with the dynamics of that, kind of the two separate parents, the blended families, and wishing that they were together. So those are very unique journeys to us. So and she's getting divorced as well. So our lessons from divorce are going to be different. However, it'll probably take us to the same type of destination of self-devotion. And that's kind of that's my new phrase I love. And I got inspired by Sister Shanti a lot. I follow her. I love her work. The mirror work and medicine has been a big part of my journey. And her recent video was talking about devotion to self. And that really resonated with me because I think a lot of people are so devoted to a partner that they lack devotion to their self. Women in particular are very often so committed to serving everybody else. We've kind of been taught that our value comes from what we do for others, how much we can do for other people without complaint, without asking for help, just doing it all on our own. And I know I was very much that person in my marriage, in early motherhood, and I still struggle to ask for help. I very much struggle with that. And as women, that's like our biggest fault, I feel like, because then we end up drained and depressed and kind of detached ourselves because we're constantly giving outwardly, seeking kind of this approval and validation and worth from the external world. And we don't actually have that within our own spirit. We don't hold that reverence and devotion for ourselves. And that is one of the bigger lessons I feel like we can learn from divorce, because it forces you to be with yourself. Like right now, my kids being gone and I'm not currently working, I could go out and distract myself with all the things. I do go to the gym for sauna and stuff. I could go distract myself and go drinking or go do other things so I don't sit with myself. But I know the medicine that comes with solitude, creating a sacred space, putting on music, sitting with yourself, and devoting really careful and conscious medicine for ourselves. And that is really the shadow work that comes with the process of healing, is being able to sit and feel and process and resolve and integrate. A lot of people are good at doing the whole process of healing or doing all the retreats and the plant medicines and whatever it may be, but miss the integration. Integrating into life what we learn is where the real magic happens. That's where the true healing is. That's where you become an example of what you've learned. That's where the transformation completes itself. And divorce is just one of those opportunities. It's not the only opportunity for you to have this journey for yourself. There's a lot of different ways that people are pushed into this space. There's so many different catalysts in our life. Like motherhood was one catalyst that walked me a little deeper into my own intuition and instincts and awakening process. And then divorce was another step even deeper that brought me not only to a journey of awakening, but a journey back to self-love. Actually honoring and loving myself and learning to value who I am and learn about my own needs, what I want in a partner, what I see as love and a partnership, my own goals, my values in the world, like how I see the world and what I desire in a partner. When you are alone and not dating other people, it allows you to really explore that deeper, so that when you're ready to date again, you're very clear on what you're looking for. Because when we keep going from one relationship to the next, you know, if you go right from getting divorced and jumping right into a relationship, which is what I did, so I'm another example of that and why I'm a big advocate of being alone after divorce. Be alone. Oh, after any long-term relationship, really. Divorce, relationship, whatever. Be alone. Because there's so many different things to take from that relationship. Not only positive things, things that you need to work on, things that you're not going to accept from a partner, whether that be abusive behaviors or whatever it may be. And also journeying back into what's authentic in you and what you're truly wanting in life. What's compatible to you? What's attractive to you? What do you want your life to look like? And then when you're ready to date, as you you don't have to be completely healed, and no one's going to be completely healed in some perfect example of a human to have to be able to date again. But you definitely have to be having an awareness and have gone through a certain process of healing and be more clear in knowing what you want in a partner. And then you're going to be more prone to really attract, energetically, you're going to attract a more appropriate partner when you've gotten to that place in yourself. But if you're jumping from one relationship to the next, you're still wounded from the past relationship and you're kind of in rebound mode, or you just don't want to be alone, you're financially unstable and you're just looking for someone to support you, you're not going to be attracting something that is worthwhile, healthy, or compatible in that space. So divorce doesn't have to be a bad thing. And there's such kind of a preconceived concept around divorce. And I understand the idea of keeping a family together because I came from the same idea. But now I understand so much more deeply, personally getting to the point of this is beyond repair. We're different people. We're going very different directions in life. We have very different visions about life and where we're going. And it's not worth trying to force it to happen because it's not going to. It doesn't mean you don't love that person either. You can still have love for a person and also be knowing that it's not a true connection, that you're not right for each other. It's okay to admit that. My cat's hacking a hairball over there. Don't know if you hear that. Yeah, there's a lot more I could say about that. But I'd like to hear other people's perspectives. What do you feel about divorce? Have you gone through divorce? Have you seen divorce? Are you a child of divorce? Do you wish that your parents had been divorced? There's so many different perspectives we come from, like our own childhood journey, our life journey, even our previous past lives, all create a very different experience for each of us, and we have very different perceptions around things. And that's what makes the world beautiful, and that's why not everybody is right for everybody. Like, you can meet somebody and know that they're a wonderful person, but it doesn't mean that they're the right person for you. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there. I'd like to hear your thoughts, any input on that. So thanks for being here. Love you guys.